Are you sick of staring at boring books? Do you feel like you're drowning in homework? I'm about to show you a study system so insane, it's basically a cheat code for school. Elle Woods used this system to get a 179 on the LSAT. That is 1 point away from a perfect score and get into Harvard. Today, we're breaking down the 5 secret strategies that made her a legend and how you can use them to absolutely destroy your exams. What, like it's hard? When you think of Elle Woods, you think of pink, chihuahuas, and insane levels of confidence. But you're missing the biggest part. Under all that glitter is an absolute studying machine. Getting into Harvard wasn't an accident, it was a strategy. Her journey from fashion major to a top student at Harvard was not a fluke. It's easy to think it's just a movie, but the secrets she uses are 100% real. We're going past the pink to expose the 5 pillars of her success. By the end of this video, you will have the exact blueprint to crush your goals, the Elle Woods way. Number 1, extreme discipline, the LSAT grind. First up, the foundation of all of Elle's success is extreme discipline. We have to talk about that insane number, a 179 on her LSAT. The LSAT is one of the hardest tests on the planet, and 180 is a perfect score. She got 1 point away from perfect. This wasn't some lucky guess. She made a choice and went all in. You see it in the montage. Her friends are all partying and Elle is buried in prep books. She turns down parties, she ignores social events, and she just grinds. That is the secret to any big success. You have to set aside time to study and treat it like it's the most important thing in the world. For Elle, those nights in the library weren't a punishment. They were the price of winning. So how do you actually do this? Start by setting a giant, specific goal. Elle's was a 175 plus on the LSAT to get into Harvard. A weak goal like, I want to do better, will get you nowhere. Next, you practice like she did. She surrounded herself with stacks of old LSAT exams, which is the #1 way to prep for any test. It makes you comfortable with the questions so you don't panic. Start by doing practice questions with no timer. Then add a timer for one section at a time. Finally, you do the whole test time to build up the endurance for the real thing. One of the most underrated parts of her strategy was studying in pure chaos. She was in a loud sorority house, which secretly trained her for the insane pressure of test day. You don't have to study in a noisy room, but learning to block out every distraction is a superpower. By locking in on her goal and sticking to a crazy schedule, Elle proved that working harder beats talent every single time. Number 2, authentic personalization, studying in style.
Okay, now for the fun part, the pink. While discipline is the engine, making it yours is the fuel. Elle Woods refused to believe that smart people had to be boring. She got to Harvard, a world of black suits and serious faces, and she didn't change anything. She kept her pink, scented resume, her fluffy pen, and her incredible style. This isn't just a personality trait, it's a legitimate psychological hack. Your study space and your tools literally control your motivation. Studies have shown that making your workspace your own can reduce burnout and make you feel more powerful, which is exactly what you need for a hard subject. When your study space feels like you actually want to be there. For Elle, it was pink. For you, it can be anything. Make insane Notion templates, create a color-coded highlighting system that you love, or find the one pen that makes writing notes feel incredible. You have to romanticize your own grind. Elle's method teaches us that you should never try to copy someone else's boring study method. If a plain, empty desk feels depressing, get rid of it. Fill your space with things that make you feel confident and happy, whether it's a plant, a crazy lamp, or a specific playlist that puts you in the zone. She even dressed the part. While other students wore the boring uniform of law students, Elle's outfit screamed confidence. When you feel good in your space and confident in yourself, working hard stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like an act of power. Number 3, interdisciplinary thinking, the Perm principle. This might be the most legendary example of Elle's genius. In her first huge court case, she destroys a witness's alibi using her insane knowledge of hair care. She knew the #1 rule of perm maintenance. You cannot wash your hair for 24 hours after a perm, or you'll deactivate the ammonium thioglycolate. The witness, Chutney, said she was in the shower when the crime happened, but her perm was perfect. Case closed. This moment is so genius because it shows the power of connecting different worlds of knowledge. Elle didn't win by remembering some random law. She won by connecting 2 completely different fields, law and cosmetology. She didn't keep her knowledge in separate boxes. She saw the world as one giant web of information. This is a skill that the top 1% of performers in every field use. They don't just memorize facts, they build connections. When you can link what you're studying to your hobby, your job, or something you actually care about, the information sticks. It goes from something you forget tomorrow to something you understand forever. A great way to do this is with the Feynman technique. It's simple. Explain something super complex in the simplest way you possibly can, like you're teaching it to a kid.
When you're forced to get rid of the complicated words, you immediately find the holes in your own knowledge. Elle does this without even thinking. She connects abstract legal ideas to real-world things she knows everything about. When you connect school to real life, you won't just remember it better, you'll be able to use it in creative and insane ways. Unbreakable self-belief. From the moment she got to Harvard, literally everyone underestimated her. Her ex-boyfriend Warner, her rival Vivian, and even her professors. In her very first class, she gets called on, isn't prepared, and is publicly humiliated and kicked out. For most people, that would be the end. But for Elle, it was just data. She didn't see it as proof she was a failure. She saw it as a sign she needed to work even harder. She went out, bought a laptop, did all the reading, and came back ready to dominate. She turned a massive failure into the ultimate comeback story. This kind of toughness comes from having a strong why. At first, her goal was to get her ex back, but it turned into something way bigger, proving to herself that she deserved to be there. You need a specific, powerful reason to keep going when everything sucks. Even though people judged her constantly, she refused to let their opinions define her. That's not being arrogant, it's having complete faith in your own potential. It's the kind of faith that lets you ask questions without feeling stupid and attack subjects that you aren't good at yet. A huge part of keeping that belief alive was finding a mentor. Professor Stromwell was hard on Elle, but she also saw her potential. When Elle was about to quit because a professor harassed her, Stromwell gave her that legendary dose of tough love. If you're gonna let one stupid prick ruin your life, you're not the girl I thought you were. That single moment of support was the push Elle needed. You have to build your own team, and most importantly, believe in yourself. See your mistakes as part of the grind. Find your reason for being there, and never let someone else's doubt become your reality. Confidence isn't something you have, it's something you build, one win at a time. Finally, let's talk about the foundation that holds all of this up: holistic productivity. Elle knew that your brain is useless if your body and mind are a complete mess. She famously says, exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people just don't shoot their husbands.
It's a funny line, but it's 100% scientifically true. A burnt-out, exhausted, unhappy brain cannot learn anything. Elle's strategy wasn't about grinding 24/7. She managed her energy. We see her studying on the treadmill, combining her fitness and school goals. She makes time for self-care at the nail salon, which is also a place to chill out, study with a friend, and even have a legal breakthrough. This is all about managing your energy, not just your time. You can do this with tricks like the Pomodoro technique. Work in focused 25-minute sprints, followed by a 5-minute break. This structure keeps you locked in without burning out. Another insane strategy is to do your hardest task first thing in the morning. Elle's method teaches us to treat studying like a pro sport. You need sleep, good food, and exercise to be a mental athlete. By balancing intense work with actual rest, you create a system for winning that you can actually keep up. You stop seeing studying as a punishment and start seeing it as just one part of a huge, successful life. So how do you study like Elle Woods? You combine her 5 core strategies. You build a foundation of extreme discipline by making a schedule and putting in thousands of hours. You fuel it with authentic personalization, making your study space a place that actually hypes you up. You practice interdisciplinary thinking, connecting what you learn to the entire world. You protect it all with unwavering self-belief, refusing to let haters or failures stop you. And you sustain it with holistic productivity by treating your energy and wellness like your most important stats. In her own words from her graduation speech, you must always have faith in people. And most importantly, you must always have faith in yourself. Now go out there and win. After all, what? Like it's hard? This is Peak Razor. Let's build productivity systems that win daily.